town councilors and special guest in to talk about what's going on in Orangeville right now. I guess we're going to be focusing a lot of it on COVID-19, but depending on how long this goes on, we'll be talking about other events that are going on in town and other things that are of interest to our residents. So today I have my colleagues on council, Deputy Mayor McIntosh and Councillor Lisa Post, and we also have our Town of Orangeville Library CEO Darla Fraser joining us. So thank you all for being available this morning. This is going to be about a 15 or 20 minute chat. We have a lot of interesting information to share about the offerings that the library has online. People are wondering what to do with their days now that being cooped up at home. And there are amazing educational features available through the online library connection. And there's some new offerings that Ms. Fraser is going to be educating us on this morning. So let me just go over to Deputy Mayor McIntosh. Andy, good to see you. So we've had a couple of virtual council meetings. We've also had a county one. I think they all went off very well. Just wondering how things are at your home. How are you feeling, and what's going on in your world right now?
Well, I was glad to have those meetings. Everything worked out great. Business is moving forward somewhat. Myself personally, I'm obviously in isolation here, and I'd like to give a shout out to Councillor Lisa Post for picking up my medications and
very nice.
Hey, it's all about teamwork.
Yeah.
That's great. Very
yeah.
good.
Other than that, I'm getting online shopping. Everything's working out good.
Well, you're looking
it is
good,
what it
buddy.
is, and I've
like
never been home so much in all my life.
Looks like you got a bit of a tan there. Have you got a tanning bed at home or something? What's?
I went outside yesterday.
Oh, did you? Okay. That's good. Lisa, so you're active on social media. I know you've got a very active household. You're helping to care for a grandchild. You've got a son that's entering the military, but now is home. So lots of things going on in your house. So how are you guys keeping busy? I saw some cooking actually on Facebook that you were doing.
There is a lot of cooking going on in my house. We have a very full household. It's been challenging and fun to have all of us at home at the same time. We do lead a very busy life normally. So this has really caused us all to pause and really take some time to learn new things and enjoy each other's company in a different way. And we're just trying to make the best of it. I mean, everybody's going a little stir crazy being at home, but we're taking this time to learn new skills. I've learned how to bake bread. I've learned how to make pizza dough. The magic of yeast is a miracle to me. And we're just experimenting with it and trying to have some fun and find new ways to do things. We were looking at, and thankfully everybody in my house is happy and healthy. So that's the primary thing. And we're just doing our part to stay home and isolate as much as possible. So
on top of all your other interesting things in your life, you've also decided to tackle being a student this year. And
yes.
I'm just wondering, can you share with us some of what's going on in the post-secondary world right now?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. So I'm doing my bachelor's degree in community development, and through Humber, and I normally go down to the Lakeshore campus a couple of times a week to do some classes, and I have one online class. Well, now of course everything is online, so it's been an interesting world as well. I now have a full house and have to still write papers. So and of course we're coming up to the end of the semester, so I've got lots of essays due, and the format of final exams is going to be very different, and it's all going to be offered online. And I have to give kudos to Humber because they've done a fantastic job, and I'm sure all the other post-secondary institutions are in the same boat, that they had to react quickly and make some changes to the process, and they've done a fantastic job. All of my professors have really stepped up, and the learning continues. So I don't feel like I've missed anything. I missed the social interaction part for sure, but I don't feel like I've missed any of the education piece. So I'm very fortunate.
We've been hearing on the news that the elementary and secondary schools are also embarking on online learning right now. So I think teachers are starting to reach out to students, and they're starting to get some online curriculum stuff going to keep the kids, I guess they want everybody to get their school year. It seems very unlikely that school is going to be back in this year. So in combination with what's going on at school and what people like Darla Fraser are helping to get out into the internet for our residents, everybody should be able to keep busy and continue their education. So let's move over, Darla. You run a busy library, so it's quite a transition right now to go from libraries that are closed into trying to reach out through the internet. But I think there's a bit of a silver lining there, because many people didn't realize that you've got so many online offerings, including ebooks and access to magazines and newspapers and things like that. So maybe we'll turn it over to you. Can you maybe walk us through the great things that you've got available for our residents?
I would love to, and thank you for the opportunity to participate. I'll start by just a message that the board chair was hopeful that I could deliver, and then we'll talk about all the online resources. On behalf of the board chair and the staff at OPL, I'd like to extend our deepest sympathy for those affected by this horrible virus. I must say, I've never been so happy or proud to live here in Headwaters, Ontario, Canada. The amazing healthcare system, the local heroes, our first responders, all doing a wonderful job on the front lines of this battle. Nice to see the community members stepping up to help all of our community members, including the most vulnerable. These are difficult times, and I know I have staff at the library who are very concerned about the vulnerable population and the households who do not have access to internet. I'm here to talk about online, but many of the folks without internet connectivity at home are regular library patrons, and our heart goes out to them. We miss them, and we look forward to being on the other side of this crisis with the doors open. Right. In the meantime, although the physical locations are closed, staff are working behind the scenes to ensure our virtual branch and the e-resources are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yes, I agree, Your Worship, that if there is a silver lining in this closure for the library, it is in the opportunity to really rely on our online resources and hopefully create a demand for when this crisis is over.
I just wanted to interject for a sec here. As we went through our budget last year, a number of councillors noted the portion of your budget for acquisitions. And we talked about it in our council session about, the conversion over time from hardcover books to online, and that you still have to pay for the access to ebooks. And so that amount of money is, again, I don't know what the makeup is, but I mean, as we continue into the digital age of books being digitized, that number of hardcover probably is going to reduce, and the electronic ways of getting information out is going to increase.
You're absolutely correct, and a good point that because it's online doesn't mean it's free resources. Right. There certainly is a cost, and as there should be. These vendors are putting together the information, and yes, if you look at the 10-year projection for the library, Lisa will be aware of this, the amount for electronic resources increases at the same rate, well, maybe not the same rate anymore, but at a reasonable decrease in the physical items. Although I like that analogy of the elevator and the stairs. Hardcover books will not be completely replaced with ebooks. Just like stairs and escalators, there's room in the world for both.
Yeah, Andy and I have had this conversation. I still like the act of reading a book, the physical texture of opening the pages with my hands. And, I think, Andy, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned that you'd successfully kind of converted over to reading through a tablet, and you quite like it, right?
Absolutely. It's the only
Yeah.
thing I'll use.
Yeah. So
My eyesight's not that good, and I can make the words bigger and smaller, whatever I need to do. So it works out perfect.
Right. So those of us, Andy and I are kind of the same vintage, but even our age group and older, whose eyesight is starting to get worse, the tablet does offer that option, and it's a great option for people whose eyesight isn't perfect anymore. So anyway,
Absolutely.
without further ado, why don't we get into the offerings and the new things that you've got going on the internet side, electronic side of the library.
Sure. If you don't mind, I'd just take a few minutes to talk about what you need to access those resources.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to mention to our members who had library cards prior to the closure, anyone who had reserved an item, because we do allow people to put a hold on items that are out to somebody else. They can rest assured that their place in the queue will be maintained. Everything is just being pushed forward with the closure dates and the timelines. Due dates for items and membership expiry dates are also being pushed forward at a lot, as we know, so many decisions being made with so many unknowns. For anybody, I say to anybody who currently has items out from the library, there's two choices. They can hang on to them without penalty, or they can return them through the book drop at the Mill Street Library entrance, which today we still have open, and we expect that to remain open. For those who have internet connectivity but no library card, we've tried to make it easier than ever. And you can get to a link. I hope the technology works for me to show you how easy it is, from either our website or our mobile app. The library board has relaxed the requirements in our policy, which enabled online registration for a library card without the need to verify and validate the information provided. That said, we're not completely electronic in the issuing of the cards. There still is human intervention. So those forms are submitted, and it is library staff that actually get back to the individual with their card and set up a PIN. The cards issued under this pause in the policy will provide almost immediate access to the wonderful resources available. And then we'll have a process set up after we open for those members who wish to utilize their new virtual memberships to borrow materials. Does that make sense? Yep. Is there any questions?
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's great. And then, of course, all of this is available through your website and the explanation and how to go through this.
Absolutely, and we'll if it makes sense, and if there's time, we'll show that that process. I know staff are working creatively with our vendors and have actually expanded our digital programming and services. So I'd just like to mention that our story times start with programming. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
So we have a virtual story time now, and program and research coordinator Shannon McGrady. And I'm afraid we might have to bring her daughter Victoria onto the library payroll, because she's helping with these. What a lovely little gem she is. The story times are posted twice a week at our regular time, times that families would typically come into the library, Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 10:15. And Shannon is doing songs and stories and rhymes virtually for people. And obviously some people are watching. I think the staff reported 487 views for the virtual story time, the latest one. So people can get to that through our Facebook page or our website.
My granddaughter and I watched Storytime yesterday. It was fantastic.
Aren't they great? Wasn't that books that make kids crazy or something?
Yeah, it was good. It was cute.
Excellent. We're also working on some virtual tech talks and starting, I think it's next week, or perhaps they've got it ready for this week. We'll be posting links to videos of tutorials for a variety of library resources, as well as how-tos on certain types of software and web platforms. And simple ones, you know, how to get onto Twitter, how to get onto Snapchat, some of those technologies that certainly at my vintage is not as, I'm not on there. I know my kids are on, they're not happy to hear that I know how to get on Snapchat, but anyway, it's, we should be able to view a couple of those as well. We are looking into other ways, and we hope to get started on a virtual book club soon. So that's the programming piece.
Mm-hmm.
And if we talk about some online resources, we definitely have something for everyone. And what I was just talking about with those little how-tos, the Orangeville Public Library Digital Learning Academy, staff have just set up, and it provides short, specific how-to videos for many of the online resources out there. Our newest online resource is the Press Reader, and it offers access to newspapers and magazines, okay, from over 100 countries in 60 different languages. However, based on the usage this month, the most sought after sources of news are the Toronto Star, the National Post, and the Toronto Sun. So people are accessing that. We've had more than 5,000 articles were accessed since we did. And we did a very soft launch last month. Obviously, priorities changed very quickly, so that may be one of the resources people didn't even know we had, even people who are used to using the online resources.
Right.
I wonder if I should pause now to try and look at how people find that on the website.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you show us?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Let's see. If we go to, okay, now hang on. There. Do you see the library website there?
I
Yes,
do.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
awesome.
So sorry?
Yeah, that's
This
great.
is excellent. This is our online services page. And as you know, we're working on creating the new website. I have a meeting later today. This will look different in the before the end of the year, but for now, people coming on here, you can click here. I'll show you quickly. Applying for a library card. We do require some basic information, name, address, email, first date, gender, street address, and phone number. This form is submitted, and as I said, library staff will get back to the individual with their card, with their card number and the PIN setup. Okay.
Carla, what's the turnaround time on that?
Well, if the email, staff are doing it during business hours. So we have had some requests come in, 3, 4 in the morning. Those aren't addressed till later in the morning, but for the most part, it's a fairly.
A day or two, you would have your virtual PIN
Within 24 hours for sure.
Okay, great.
Okay. Once you have your 14-digit library card number and your PIN, you can get started on some of these all of the resources. And before we look at some of the main ones on the landing page, I just draw people's attention to this section here, because if we go down to the genealogy, Lisa, you mentioned people be interested, and we'll come back to this, the Ancestry.com and the Dufferin Museum, their information is all accessed through this page.
Great.
You can see the different kids stuff that's available.
Right.
And Tumble books.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's good. They've done a great job. We do have Learn at Home. some homework help for kids and adults as well.
What have you got under languages there? Can you show us that?
I sure can. So Mango Languages is offers 70 different languages,
Okay.
and it's a great resource.
Right.
We also have for local authors. We
Mhm.
have the Biblio board, which is offers these resources to create, share, and discover other authors working together. Just going to go back to our landing page for the online resources.
Mhm.
And for most of the online resources, the library has provided with them a short video and then a written document to have people walk through. I don't know about you, but I always like a how-to step-by-step, and that's available here. But certainly other people prefer a video, and I mentioned the streaming doesn't always work, but I'm going to try and show you how easy it is, or how you can learn more about the resources with these little videos.
Okay.
Let's give it a try.
Okay.
And fingers crossed.
Well, with all that's going on in the United States right now, I guess it'll be particularly interesting to pick up some of their news papers as well.
Indeed.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. All those magazines you've got. So anybody who's complaining that I've got nothing to do, you better get on the Orangeville Library's electronic, offerings, because it's endless, and there's something for everybody there.
There truly is, Your Worship.
Mm-hmm.
And so a shout out to the press reader.
Yep.
People are hungry for news, and we have lots available. And the Ancestry and Ancestry.com has recently been made available remotely. I'd like to just acknowledge that access to this resort has been temporarily expanded to library card holders working remotely, courtesy of ProQuest and its partner Ancestry. This brilliant resource is for those curious about genealogy and their family history, and it really offers a step-by-step walkthrough of seeking that history and family, local history, or not so local.
Yeah, well, that's great.
We have the Flipster. So in addition to those magazines at Press Reader, this platform is all about magazines. And of course, the Overdrive. Deputy Mayor, I'm not sure if you're still using Overdrive. I know you were one of our first users.
Yes, I am still using it.
Excellent. Right now, Overdrive has opened up. Typically, because of the licensing, there's one copy, and or there's a number of copies, and people have to wait if somebody else is using the copy. But they have two resources available that for as many people to read at the same time as they want. Anybody interested in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, ebook and audiobook are available to anyone as soon as they want it for the month of April through Overdrive. Also available with no wait is local comedian and author Michael McCleary with Funny You Don't Look Autistic. So,
Oh, really?
Great. Our
Interesting.
Tumble Book links and Early World for primary learning, activities and fun for kids to learn, and use up some time in this difficult times. We're delighted to see the increase in some of these uses by people who are aware. Tumble Books, for example, we saw a 633% increase March over January. So people are finding and using. Yeah, I could go on all day,
Well,
you know. So.
Darla, I think you've given us a really wonderful snapshot of what's going on, and everybody can go online and noodle around there for themselves, because, as I said earlier, it's endless. But you know, these coffee chats, we want to try and keep them relatively brief. I think we've shared everything that you've got. Do you want to make a final statement, Darla, about, you know?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
The doors are closed to our physical locations, but the library is open. 24/7, our virtual branch offers entertaining and informative resources, from ebooks to digital storytelling to training to research. Staff are available to help and can be reached during business hours by voicemail at 519-941-0610. The library number at extension 2, or email at infolibrary@orangeville.com. We look forward to being able to assist the community in person again.
Right.
If I could, I'd just end with the message from our Minister McLeod. Plan and prepare for recovery. We will get through this event. Let's look forward to better times soon. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on this morning. Councillor Post, I guess we're just going to wrap up this morning. Have you got some final words you'd like to share with those watching?
I think more than anything, I just want to wish our community good health and safety, and encourage everybody to listen to the experts and just stay home. Physical distancing couldn't be any more important than it is right now. I know, as much as I love being home with my family, I'm ready for them to be able to leave the house soon. So if everybody can follow those guidelines of physical distancing, that's the most important thing we can do right now, and that's our only job. So use those online resources that Darla has given us, and keep yourselves busy and stay in the house. So keep safe and healthy, everybody, and thanks for having me here this morning.
Yep, Deputy Mayor.
I would like to echo Councillor Post's thoughts. I'd just like to add too that I've read more books in the last month than I have in my life, and thank you, Darla.
I'll be looking for recommendations, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny, you know, I could go back 6 weeks ago and think, geez, I wish the world would stop. I just need to get caught up, you know, because whether it's sorting things at home or picking up that book that's been sitting on your bedside table or whatever, and this is, again, a silver lining here. We're able to sort of organize ourselves a little bit better and do some of the things that we haven't been able to do. You know, pick up a guitar and try and, you know, learn that, or piano, all those kind of things, and there'll be great resources available for those things through the Orangeville Public Library as well. So anyway, just to wrap it up, I want to thank those who are watching. I want to thank CEO Darla Fraser of the Orangeville Public Library, Councillor Lisa Post, and Deputy Mayor Andy McIntosh. So thanks, everybody. We're going to sign off now, and good health to everybody. And as Councillor Post and Deputy Mayor McIntosh said, make sure you respect the physical distancing requirements and stay home as much as possible. Thank you again.